Top Tips Tuesday.
Hi there. I've got my glasses on this morning because I'm feeling a little bit tired. I don't know about you, but the longer that this thing has been going on, I probably found it harder the longer it's been going on. And there have been moments where, we've had those kind of precious kind of family time together. And if I'm really honest, there are other times where it's not felt like that at all. I would be lying if I said every day was like that. There's times when I feel like I'm really on it, and other times where I feel like I am far from that. The good, the bad and the ugly. And that goes on in our house just as much as it does in anyone else's. And there's been that picture going around, hasn't there? I'm sure lots of you will have seen it, about the fact that we're in the same storm, but we're not in the same boat. And I think that's absolutely true. For some of us, we have had more time on our hands than perhaps we would like. And for others, that time has been a blessing, a time where we've been able to have time with family that has been really good. And for others, time has been something that has been difficult, where it seemed to emphasise the loneliness perhaps that people are feeling. Some of us have been busier than ever, where life just seemed to get even more complicated and perhaps stressful as a result of what we're going through at the moment. And some people have experienced devastating loss. We're all in absolutely different situations, different experiences, but in the same storm. And I was just thinking about the fact that we've been encouraged kind of not to judge each other. That's what that whole picture of being in the same storm is about. It's about not making assumptions about people, not judging others, but being kind and being gracious to each other, because we don't necessarily know what each other's stories are right now. I do know, though, someone who does know your story and my story intimately, in intricate detail, and I just want to tell you a little bit about him. There was a song that was written a long time ago, and if you've got a Bible you can find it in Psalm 139, and it starts like this: "You have searched me, Lord, and you know me. You know when I sit and when I rise. You perceive my thoughts from afar. You discern my going out and my lying down. You are familiar with all my ways. Before a word is on my tongue, you know it, Lord, completely. You hem me in, behind and before, and you lay your hand upon me. Such knowledge is too wonderful for me, too lofty for me to attain. Where can I go from your spirit? Where can I flee from your presence? If I go up to the heavens, you are there. If I make my bed in the depths, you are there. If I rise on the wings of the dawn, if I settle on the far side of the sea, even there your hand will guide me, and your right hand will hold me fast. If I say, surely the darkness will hide me, and the light become night around me, even the darkness will not be dark to you. The night will shine like the day, for darkness is as light to you." And I was just thinking about that whole thing of how, we can think about what other people's stories are, or get so caught up in what our own stories are. And something that we can often do is just compare ourselves to other people. We can think, oh my goodness, they look like they're having a whale of a time and I'm really not right today. Or we can think, oh, they look like they've really got it together with kind of doing this homeschooling thing, where actually in our house it can feel a bit different sometimes. All that kind of thing. We can quickly compare ourselves to other people. But in this psalm, it reminds us that God knows us intimately. He knows our comings and our goings. He knows our every thought. He knows it before we even know it ourselves. He knows every word that we've not spoken but is sitting on our hearts. He's known every word that we've spoken hastily. He's seen it all, not with a kind of watchful kind of finger pointing kind of eye, but with a reassuring presence of a loving parent towards their child. And I love those phrases in the bit that we've just read, which talks about being hemmed in. And I don't see that as a kind of claustrophobic kind of measure. It's not being trapped. It's more like a parent watching over their toddler as they're learning to walk, making sure that they don't fall down the stairs or stick their fingers in a socket. It's that kind of reassuring presence that God is with us in the middle of this thing, whatever our days look like, the good days, bad days, everything in between. God is with us. He watches over us. He loves us. He cares for us. He loves us more than perhaps we may ever know. And so I just want to encourage you this morning, if you feel like you've been kind of just comparing yourself with other people and thinking, oh, do you know what, I'm not doing a really good job. Actually, God sees you. He knows your story. He knows the story of today. He knows exactly how you're feeling. He knows that for other people too. And he intimately cares. He really, really cares. And that whole thing about being hemmed in, it makes me think of the game of hide and seek that perhaps you might remember playing when you were little. And, you go off and you hide somewhere and then people have to come and find you. And the game only really works if you're found. That's the fun in it, actually being found. And I found that, when it comes to God, if we run away or we hide, actually we can get ourselves in a bit of a pickle. But actually the best thing happens when we allow ourselves to be found. So I just want to encourage you this morning, however you're feeling, whatever day lies ahead of you, or whatever the day has been like for you if you're watching this later on, just that you would allow yourself to be found by God, maybe for the first time, or maybe just again, just that you need to know that He is with you. His reassuring presence is with you. So I just want to invite you, if you want to, just to pause for a moment while I pray. Right here and now, God, I'm going to stop still enough so that you can find me, so that I can be found by you. Amen.